Hello and welcome to Very Explosion Network Christmas, our podcast dedicated to the merriest of holidays, the festive season with films about Santa, snow, or being left permanently alone. Time of year we struggle to decide what Christmas content to watch, which is where we come in. I'm your host, Asher Hobley, and helping me grow my heart with three sides of Christmas cheer is Dylan Black.
Ho ho, mate.
Ho ho, mate. Very ochre sounding intro this week, despite this movie being mostly set outside of Australia. Yes, on this episode, we are talking about the new Stan original film, Bump, a Christmas movie. Of course, a spin-off, I guess, to the Bump TV series, which has been running since 2021, concluded Boxing Day 2024. This film taking place between the final two episodes of the fifth season. I think that sounds right. Yeah, weirdly, last couple of years, we've been able to do a few different Australian Christmas movies. This was the only one that was kind of released this year. So
Stan usually has one every year, at least.
Yeah, and this is their one. So, yeah. So before we get into it, we'll also explain. Dylan, you've watched all of Bump.
No, I watched the last season.
You haven't watched the last season?
Yep.
I dropped off after season 2.
Yep.
So this will be interesting to talk about. So yeah, let's dive in. Please, we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot themes and ending of the movie. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's talk about Bump, a Christmas film.
Christmas feels different without Mum. But our last family Christmas together in Colombia was messy, loud, chaotic, and absolutely perfect. I'm sure I can handle a holiday with a baby.
I am so excited.
Rosa! I always wanted to write a book.
And now I want
jet lag, adventure.
Bienvenido a Cruceros Reina Colombiana. Señor.
No permitir traer alcohol de la...
It's my alcohol.
They say Colombia is forward, so I bring them here to show them. Look how beautiful it is.
Directed by Margie Beattie. Written by Kelsey Munro. Starring Nathalie Morris, Claudia Karvan, Carlos Sanson Jr., Angus Sampson, Paula Garcia, Christian Byers, Ava Cannon, Anita High. Yeah, I think that's enough for the cast list. The Chalmers-Davis family head to Colombia for a Christmas cruise to see Rosa's homeland. Dylan, is Bump, a Christmas film, a Christmas movie present, stocking stuffer, or a lump of coal?
Big fan of the TV show, even though I haven't finished the last season yet, and it's on my current list of shame because it quite often made my top 10 lists for TV shows every year it was on.
Mm-hmm.
Coal.
Whoa.
And I'm going because it is... I don't think you could watch this. I'd be shocked if you enjoyed this more. Like, I just feel like this is so reliant on basically being like a very long episode that sits within the middle of the season and whatever. Like, I just don't feel like you could watch this at all. At least you have some context of who the characters are and stuff. I would love to know if anyone who doesn't know anything about Bump could watch this. At all, you know? So even like I'm only a season behind and I was still like, I don't know, like not enjoying it as much just because I felt like I was missing certain context and stuff like that. So yeah, it's less of a movie and more just like a Bump Christmas special, which would make more sense. But I do think people are probably chucking this on thinking it's like they could watch it by itself, and I just don't think it's enjoyable as a standalone thing.
I'm going to say it is a stocking stuffer. I was quite enjoying it, I think. I definitely don't think it's super special in any way, and I definitely feel like there is definitely context that needs to be added or would help certain storylines and that kind of stuff, and even just like remembering who characters are and their family connections, because I'm like, even just remembering characters' names, it's like a struggle.
Well, yeah, it was like because season 3 jumps ahead in time, so like,
yes. Well, I knew that. And I knew bits and pieces. Like, knew she went to work for council, and then I believe there was her having another child or whatever, and Claudia Karvan's character having cancer and that kind of stuff. I all remembered, or
Well,
it
that's-
subliminally absorbed that.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing because I've seen spoilers, like, and because I didn't watch on time, I didn't care too much. It's been a year since it came out,
Mhm.
but like I know, like, so she dies in the last season, right? And this is set between.
Yeah, I think that's why maybe it's pretty heavy-handed with her
Yeah, it's
storyline.
very heavy-handed with their storyline because anyone watching it who's watched the final season, it's like they know she dies in like the next episode. So yeah, it's just
Yeah, I thought you'd watch all of it, so I was like, how would it fit in that between those final two episodes? But yeah, I mean, the thing I forgot was the relationship between Santi and Rosa, because during the film, he's like, "I'm Chilean and I'm in Colombia." It's like, so why? But yes, his mother died early on, and his father got remarried to Rosa. And then I don't know, at some point, Rosie and his father and Angie had an affair.
they had an affair.
They broke up.
They broke up.
And then he took Rosa's side. He keeps her in his life. You know?
Well, I don't think he didn't take anyone's side. They're just all. Everyone just learns to get along. And it's the other point, even when that one character asks Angus Sampson's character in this, it's like, are you like annoyed with any of them? And he, has that one line about, why would I, like, even if I did feel certain ways, why would I enact upon those feelings of two people I love? The show is full of a lot of people like learning to heal and move on and forgive or whatever. But I mean, the other thing is,
was Angie getting with his sister? Something that happened in one of the seasons you watched. Was that a surprise?
No, that wasn't a surprise.
That's season 5.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think the whole thing with her brother, like being sober, I don't recall because he's usually a drug addict. So
yes, his brother, who's definitely in the Star Wars.
Yeah,
I did like the framing of it being like Rosa kind of explaining Colombian Christmas, and it like being a look at any other cultures' traditions and that kind of stuff. Which I mean, it would have been easy. Like, it's Christmas here in Australia with the family. Let's just show you what you kind of expect. But no, this is weirdly educational about Colombia.
I mean,
although I feel like maybe the motive behind this was to get a free trip to Colombia.
Probably. I think in general the show's been, ever since the get-go, was always pretty good at, because you had those two, you had Ollie as the normal Australian girl, right? And then because she gets, once they have the baby, she's, entangled with Santi's family. I think the show always done a good job at like trying to embed those cultural differences and showing her family having to try and do things certain way for when they were with Rosa or Santi or whatever with their family, and they would try to do things. And I don't know, the show is usually pretty good at showing like a multicultural aspect of Australia, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a plot synopsis, but we can go through a few of the storylines. I feel like Ollie and Santi obviously having their second child, Ollie, I guess, being very only a few weeks after like the second child being born. Their kind of storyline I feel like they definitely kind of took a backseat in this. I don't know how prominent they are in the rest of the series, but I don't think it feels like their storyline was the B plot. And Angie and her self-discovery and her writing the book, and even Rosa like explaining how important this Christmas trip is to her, were more prominent storylines.
Yeah. No, yeah, it definitely felt that way. They try to add in this weird like split second of a love triangle thing, or whatever you want to call that.
And that got shut down super fast. He's like,
yeah,
listen, I don't like you. Your Spanish is good. We're best friends now.
Literally.
So they say. So that was odd. But yeah, you've obviously got Angie writing her book, kind of being, I guess, very free and like wants to just kind of have a good time as much as possible, which kind of makes sense knowing that she passes away in the next episode. Or, I mean, she beat cancer, so I don't know how well she knew she was about to get cancer again.
I don't
assuming she dies from cancer again. I mean, she could get hit by a truck in the next episode for all I know.
I actually don't know. All I know is that she dies. I haven't actually looked. I mean, I don't. In this, she gets. I think she's very much like thinks she's fine. So it's also that thing of like beat it twice.
Yeah, there's this element of her wanting to seize the day, I guess.
Yeah.
Easiest way to describe it. Because
Carpe
even to the expense of her girlfriend, who is having the roughest cruise possible.
Yeah.
It's getting bitten by everything, seasick, left out.
I was trying to remember how they met because I haven't watched it for a while, but I'm pretty sure she was actually her like something. It was like they met, like she was a therapist or something. I can't remember. There's some like weird,
Absolutely. And then you've got the Rosa storyline when she is, trying to get her kids interested in Colombia, and they are just, as you would expect of teenagers nowadays, just not interested.
They're just watching AI garbage on TikTok on their phones.
Yeah, or they're trying to get laid by some Colombian girl on the boat, So that's sad. And then she's. I mean, it was very informative. All the stuff they talked about, like the importance of the Christmas lights and the nativity scene,
the baby Jesus,
I tell you what, I know the film ends with her losing the baby Jesus and being gifted one by Santi's grandmother, I believe, is how the film ends. I thought for sure her baby Jesus would be recovered miraculously when they cut out the net that they got trapped in.
Just washes up on a beach.
But no, it just washes up half broken on a beach. Generations carried that baby Jesus, but at least it led to some poker winnings.
They do at least make up for her. They do that tradition thing at the end.
Yeah, that's a fun ending. So then it all comes together at the end. Of course, then you got Angus and Sampson weirdly being pushed to get together with Rose's friend. And I don't know, that seems like a pretty random, like, pushing two people together. He's a feud with the captain, difficulties with the speaker system, being angry that all his luggage is lost.
And his liquor got stolen.
Comic relief in this episode.
Yeah, well, he usually is in the show. I mean, there's a whole bit, I think it's I can't remember if it's the second or third season, whether or not you'd say it or not. There's a whole bit where he, like, goes on it, like I think it's Bowie makes the app and then he starts using it where it's like to help guys make friends and meet up. And he like starts using it and meets up with this guy and they start going to watch like bro films together and all this weird. Yeah, he always has weird plot lines. So.
Yeah.
Angus Sampson's good fun and everything he's in though. So.
He is, yeah, but other than that, I mean, pretty fine. As the final thing that we're probably likely to get from this bump universe, so I guess.
Well, yeah, they said like the show's done, so I mean.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a good time. I enjoyed it enough knowing as little as I did. I think it did a good job at making a Christmas kind of thing. That maybe was broad enough. It wasn't too specific to people who'd watched the show. They wanted to be broad enough that newcomers could just watch a Christmas movie.
I don't know if newcomers, like at least you have some context to go. I just don't think anyone who hasn't watched any of the show could watch this.
I mean, yes and no, I guess. Like any Christmas movie, you kind of jump in with a family and kind of, get to know them over the course of the thing and kind of understand the relationships.
Because they give no time to Ollie and Santi in this, and they're technically the leads of the show, or especially like Ollie, right? She's the main character. They do like no explanation for anyone who's new watching it of like their history or anything. It's just like they've got a kid, they've got a baby. There's like, she
was the problem child who led to Angie having a second motherhood.
Well, yeah.
You only hear all the bad stuff from Angie, until the last moments. But yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a solid swan song, like, for this show. But it's hard to say.
I'm definitely like, would I enjoy it more if I'd actually finished the fifth season? You know what I mean? So,
I mean, if all this does is make you go back and finish the show, I mean, it's a win.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they want to do. They like get people invested slightly, and then they'll go back and watch all the show.
Maybe.
Anything else you want to talk about from Bum Christmas?
No, it was just also making me think how crazy it is that like it's the longest running. Surely it has to be the longest running original Australian streaming series
of recent memory.
Yeah, I looked at it. It was like 50 episodes. It was 50 episodes exactly. I think across 5 seasons. Yeah, it's 10 episodes each. So, what other like Australian TV
original scripted content?
Original scripted series has gone for 5 seasons. You know,
yeah, outside of Home and Away.
Yeah, like streaming. You know, like original. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're more on the miniseries, aren't they? You know,
usually miniseries. Yeah.
You know, so maybe they'll change with the new quota rules. You know,
possibly. I just think it's like at least something about this series is like it. Like I think it's a success story to get 5 seasons and a movie out of an original show. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let us know what you thought of Bump, a Christmas film, by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. Let us know on social media. If you want to help us out here at a very Explosion Network Christmas, leave us a review on our podcast and podcast, leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us out over at Explosion Network with all our content and other podcasts, head over to explosionnetwork.com/support. That brings us to the end of this season of A Very Explosion Network Christmas. So thank you very much for listening. Until next time, remember to leave room in your home for baby Jesus to come deliver all your presents. Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
I said it right.